welcome. Today I'm going to be guiding you through a restorative yoga sequence to help you get a more restful sleep. So throughout this class, you'll be releasing tension to create a little bit more space between your mind and your body, letting go of things you've been carrying with you today so that you can step into bed, rest your head on your pillow, and immediately fall to sleep. So for this class, you'll just need a yoga mat if you have it. Otherwise, the carpet or the floor is fine as long as it's comfortable. You'll also need a few cushions or thick pillows. You could also use a couch cushion. We've found that that works well. So I'm just going to be using some pillows from the couch. And we're going to begin class by doing legs up the wall. So if you could situate your mat up against a wall, if you have a picture frame or something that's obscuring the wall, then you can move that out of the way. If a wall is not accessible for you, you can also just stack a few pillows up. And when we get there, I'll guide you into how to get into the movement. So for this class, the setting is actually quite important. So if you can dim down your lights, maybe turn on some candles, burn some incense, maybe turn on some gentle restorative music or soft music, then I think that'll be a nice thing to have in addition to help calm the body and mind. And then along with the setting is also removing distractions. So if you can turn your phone off or even just set your alarm now for the morning and then flip it into airplane mode. What's really important is that after this class, you don't go back into being distracted by social media or your TV or laptop or phone. So if you can, just shut your phone off now and treat this as your introduction to going to bed and going to sleep without jumping back into the noise. So with that being said, I think we're ready to begin. Take a few minutes to set up your space and get yourself ready for bed. And when you're ready, you can join in. So for legs up the wall, the best way to get into that position is, for me, I like to actually have my hips elevated just slightly. So I'll take one cushion and put that up against the wall. You could also just use a thick blanket if you'd like to do that instead. So to get into legs up the wall, you'll actually sit sideways against the wall first with your hip close to the wall. And then once you're up on the cushion, then you'll bring both hands down and start to lower yourself onto your side. And then you'll begin to bring the legs up towards the wall. So once they're there, you can hold on to the cushion, sort of shimmy your hips closer to the wall. And then start to straighten the legs. You'll keep a little bend in the knees. And then just take your time to get settled in. Once your legs are up, you could either rest your hands down at your sides. You can also place them on the belly or the heart, the stomach. So if you notice that you're here and that your hamstrings are super tight and it's actually hard for you to relax into this, then you're just going to slide your hips a little bit farther away from the wall so that you are reducing that deep flexion in the back of the legs. So once you're there and you've settled into a position, then gently close down the eyes. Start to deepen the breath. With each inhale, you feel that expansion in the chest, the lift in the rib cage. And each exhale, you pull the belly button to the spine. Begin to bring that attention to the breath even more. Don't worry so much about what's going on in the body. You might start to feel some tingling in the feet or the legs. That's perfectly normal. You're just starting to take the weight off the feet, especially if this is an evening class for you. Then you've been on your feet all day, so now we're reversing gravity, and it might feel a little bit weird for the first couple of minutes. Just know that that's normal. And just put all of your attention on the breath. See if you can add one more second to each inhale, one more second to each exhale. So you're really consciously choosing to slow down. With every exhale, try to relax any muscle tension that you're still holding on to. Let your eyeballs sink into the sockets as you relax the muscles in the face. Maybe wiggle the jaw. I'd really like you to focus for this class on the concept of surrendering. We spend a lot of our time and our day planning for the next thing, pushing ourselves, striving to achieve, to be productive, to be efficient, to move forward. But if we use that same mentality of striving and pushing and driving to try to go to sleep, it kind of works the opposite. Because that's not how sleep happens. You can't force yourself or talk yourself into it. It's actually the opposite. So the more that you can surrender, release and relax and not push yourself to it, easier it is for your mind to let go and fall asleep. So throughout this class, if you notice that you're holding tension, or if your mind is thinking about things that have happened today, or if you're ruminating about things that may be happening tomorrow, then try to bring the attention back to the breath and come back to that mantra of surrendering, releasing, letting go. And if you have your legs up the wall, then you're set, you're good to go. Otherwise, I forgot to mention as we came down, if you don't have a wall, then by now I hope you've just been able to rest your legs on top of a stack of pillows, just so that your knees are elevated. You could also just take Shavasana or half Shavasana, anything that allows you the opportunity to fully relax. Begin to make your way out of this pose. Start to bring the legs back down if you had them up against the wall. Then you're going to roll onto one side, coming off any cushions or pillows that you've been laying on. And then you're going to grab that cushion or pillow, you're going to slide it to about the center of your mat, a few feet away from the wall. And then you'll be in the same position as you were before, just a little bit farther away from the wall. But you're going to bring that pillow to your low back, your sacrum. You could either bring the soles of the feet together, or you could extend the legs straight out. So either way, you're going to begin to lower your back onto the pillow or the bolster. I guess for me, I need 2. So really take the time to get yourself set up, using as many bolsters or blankets or props as you need so that you can really let the body melt. Once you've settled into this position, supported butterfly, then again, close down the eyes. Bring the attention back to the breath. Relax the muscles around the stomach, let the belly soften. And if your mind has started wandering into the past or into the future, just let those thoughts go. Give yourself the task of focusing on the breath. The more that we practice that attention training, the easier it becomes. So if your mind is going 1,000,000 miles an hour right now, that's also okay. That's part of the practice. Just observe the effect. And with each exhale, maybe try to let those thoughts go. Now, if you are in supported butterfly with the soles of the feet together, Then you're going to hold on to the outsides of both thighs, outside the knees, and then with the help of your hands, you'll start to bring your legs together. So you're not straining your hip flexors or your hips to pull the legs back together. Again, we're going to roll off to our side, but this time I'd like you to roll to your right, just so that we're all on the same page. So once you come back up to a seat, you're going to actually keep the bolsters where they're at, but you're just going to slide the bolster up to the right hip or the right thigh. Maybe take a couple cushions. You might want to bring the height of the bolsters a little bit more up, and then start to frame the bolsters as you lay the chest down. So for me, I like to keep my right cheek down on the pillow. But if you're already here and you don't really feel a twist in the mid-back, which is what we're going for, then you also have the option to just lift the head and rest the left cheek down on the pillow. So whatever feels best for you. For each person, this is going to feel a little bit differently. Maybe you want to have the legs a little bit apart, or maybe you want to stack the knees on top of each other. So just make it work for you. We're not here for too long, maybe just about 10 breaths. So drop right into the pose. Come right back to the breath. And now with the help of your hands, start to straighten the arms. And then as we switch over to the other side, you're just going to face back towards the wall. And then bring both legs up and then off to the left. So now you'll bring the cushions close to your left hip or your left thigh. And then again, frame the bolsters, slowly start to make your way down. You might already notice that this side feels like you're a little bit more tight than the other. And that's normal, so try not to force yourself into anything deep. You can always readjust after a few breaths, but it's important to treat each pose as a separate meditation, as a separate pose. Just because it's the same one on the opposite side of the body does not mean it's the same one. Try to relax the muscles in the hands, the feet, the face. And then begin to press into the hands as you lift your chest up again. And then you'll move your bolsters or cushions off to the side. Make your way into a tabletop. Then just take a couple circles of the hips down to the heels. Start to loosen up the hips after that deep twist. And back to tabletop, just a couple cat-cows. So come onto the tops of the feet, let the belly sink down as you inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, begin to round the back. Tuck the chin to the chest, scoop the tailbone under. Just one more of each. Inhale, belly sinks down. And exhale, round the back. Let the hips come back to the heels for child's pose. You could either have the knees together or knees apart, whatever feels better on the hips. Walk the fingertips forward. Let your head rest down. Just a few breaths here. Gently rock your head left and right. And if your forehead is touching a cushion or the mat or anything, you can sort of think of this movement as you gently massage your third eye as an opportunity to shift from that thinking brain over to that more intuitive feeling brain. And then start to lift the hips back up. Through tabletop, we're going to come into crocodile. So come all the way onto your belly. And then you'll just bring the hands underneath your forehead. So the head is facing straight down to the ground. If this feels uncomfortable on the neck, you can of course just turn the head from one side or the other. Just take a few breaths here. Let your ankles, your heels fall open. Let your chest just melt into the ground. And as we begin to make our way into our final pose of this sequence, Shavasana or corpse pose, to get there we're just going to roll onto our back. You're going to keep your head on the same end of the mat, so there's no rotating or shifting or sitting up. In fact, you're going to imagine that your body is sort of like a magnet just being pulled in by Mother Earth. And you're going to stay as close to the ground as possible as you begin to make your way onto your back, keeping the eyes closed. And again, you're feeling your way there. Once you're on your back, you have the option to place a bolster or a cushion underneath the knees if that feels better on your low back. Otherwise, you can keep the legs down on the ground, legs are straight. The arms are out at your sides, palms face up towards the sky. Let the feet fall open and take up as much space as you need. keeping that concept of the magnet of your body to earth, just begin to feel yourself get very heavy as you relax, continue to melt. And keep that idea of surrendering in your mind, just letting go, releasing, relaxing. We'll be ending the video here, but you're welcome to pause it and stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. Or you could also just end the video, crawl into bed, and continue your Shavasana there. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for choosing to invest in yourself in a healthy way to restore your body and your mind. Give yourself permission to relax, rejuvenate, and slip into a very restful sleep. I'll see you in the next video. With love and gratitude. Namaste.